All right. Good morning, everyone. It looks like you guys can hear me. I see a big red bar. It may be slightly loud again. I'm going to have to adjust that back again. All right. So, sorry I took a couple minutes extra to get it on today. I had to, sometimes I lose Windows. Remember I said I'm switching softwares or whatever for streaming. And this morning was another one of those reasons why. I went to go load it up. I'm like, oh, that window's missing. It knows that it exists, but it's missing. So I had to add a couple things back again. I got to finish up a slide deck today, and then hopefully by Wednesday I'll have the new software on. And again, we'll probably may take a day or two to work the kinks out, but we're on. Anyway, hope everybody had a great weekend. I'm slightly crispier than I was last week. We had lacrosse tryouts yesterday for the kids, the first round, and I was like, we're only out there for like a little while. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I should have put sunset lotion on. Face is quite crispy. Voice is kind of halfway there, but a great tryout for the weekend for the boys. So definitely fun. I'm supposed to play tonight, but we have a tropical storm. So I forgot that we were, again, depending on where you live in the U.S., on the East Coast, once we hit like August is when we get into like hurricane season, I guess. I mean, not that we have many, but like tropical storm hurricanes, like it didn't even click. Like all of a sudden, not that 2020 hasn't been as exciting enough already, but now we have a tropical storm warning, and everyone's like, "Are we going to play tonight?" And I'm like, "Hey, there's no lightning. We're playing." So our chat is, it's the scene the gif from Twister with the cow going across the road and cats flying and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's a morning full of memes of windy conditions. But I'm like, "Hey guys, no lightning. I'm playing." So yeah, who knows if I'll still be alive tomorrow morning. I'll be out playing lacrosse in a tropical storm. All right, so interesting morning that we have here. So it looks like pretty much across the board, the dollar's showing some strength again. And literally all the news this morning is talking about how the dollar decline's taking a breather, dollar rebound, hints of a dollar rebound, sustained recovery. And across the board, I mean, literally there's must be 10 of them, over the last 9-10 hours talking about dollar strength coming back in. Now, it is kind of interesting. I don't know that I actually believe that this is going to be an area of dollar strength. You are also seeing the indices kind of pop up into new levels, and typically you don't see both happen. So again, a lot of this to me seems like it is maneuvering for movement that we'll see today, tomorrow, the rest of this week. But in the overnight, and I say overnight, in the last 24 hours, but it only started about 10 hours ago. Actually, I guess 14 hours ago. You see 41 pips drop in the euro dollar, pound about the same, dollar yen up about 37, dollar Swiss up 72, which I don't believe this. I was kind of surprised this morning when I woke up and saw this one. I actually was looking for a short continuation here. And again, it just ended up moving higher and higher and higher. Now, dollar CAD at 33 is more or less flat. Like I said, we're kind of, those two are basically just kind of, hovering sideways in kind of a small area. The Aussie dollar down 19 is interesting as well. 19 is really nothing in the Aussie. And that one is really, again, we've been talking, for the last 2 weeks about how that one has been very, very high on the curve, that we've been looking for some type of short opportunity. And a lot of that has to do with gold, right? I mean, that was really the driving force was gold. So minus 19 isn't, I wouldn't say earth shattering, right? And then euro pound up 10 and pound yen down 3, basically nothing. So, this is basically a dollar story across the board, no matter what pair that we're talking about. And again, I just don't see anything that would have happened over the weekend that says, okay, it's time to get dollar strong now. I don't know. I can't figure it out. It just doesn't, like I said, it's one of those things. You don't need to know why it's happening. You just need to know how to react to it. And, we'll see. I just don't see it being sustainable for some reason. I just, I don't think the economy is any greater than it was. I think, there's increased mask stuff, just coronavirus stuff. I don't know. Don't know. and the Epstein report, I don't think is, the cause. Somebody asked me that yesterday. They're like, so do you think because the Epstein report, it could hurt, I'm like, no. I'm like, we're not even hearing about it in the news. So it's probably a non-factor at this point. Yeah. So as far as news goes today, we have ISM manufacturing PMI, and that definitely could be a mover, being associated with the 10 a.m. timestamp. Always a very popular one, especially on a Monday, because there's really not much else besides that. So one possible scenario for this morning is we will see kind of a continuation of what we saw in the overnight, and then at 10 o'clock is when all that will reverse. That gives the open retail traders enough time to react off of what they see, hear, and feel. And then again, then the big money can step in and kind of counteract a lot of those things that they did. So, yeah, I could see that one rolling over at about 10 o'clock today. Again, if that's the way that it decides to move. Like I said, you typically, for a reversal on a Monday, you need some type of news release, and it's going to be a kind of counter reaction to what we saw from Sunday night and over the weekend. I wouldn't say, though, looking at kind of the biggest news, dollar takes a breather. Okay, great. Rebound, great. Dollar weakness drives euro pound, and, okay, got it. Again, that's talking about dollar weakness, not dollar strength. Dollar in defensive, recovery stories in doubt. Yeah, okay. And then talking about the UK. So there's not even really anything right now in the kind of like important news section that is really signaling any of this besides, hey, listen, it's taking a breather. So, we'll see. But again, trade balance tonight will be an interesting one. Trade balance is not the biggest mover, but there's nothing else going on, and it's supposed to be, kind of an increase. This is a good sign for obviously the Aussie. If they're forecasting that the trade balance is, going that direction, you tend to see some movement. And I think it's positive. You're seeing kind of economies come back online, and again, more trading. A lot of that is with China, and we've seen the Chinese numbers. They're recovering. So. Yeah, so that could be a potential market mover as well. Now, late night, we have the cash rate and the RBA rate statement. Now, they're not expected to cut. I don't think there's going to be a surprise cut or anything like that. But obviously, the statement talking about recovery and the speed of recovery and those things, those obviously can move. So, it's an early morning East Coast, 12:30 a.m. For some of you, it's just a little bit late at night. You just stay up a little bit longer. Definitely a potential mover for the Aussie. So, between the balance, between the balance and this cash rate, you will see something, right? Now, besides that, tomorrow's pretty flat. As you can see, we have absolutely nothing from the 12 a.m. tomorrow up until 6:45. Obviously, we'll talk about, New Zealand unemployment. And that's basically their equivalent of kind of like a non-farm payroll. For New Zealand tomorrow night. But that's it tomorrow. Tomorrow is pretty flat. So tomorrow will be a full, news media driven kind of frenzy. And I say frenzy, I don't mean like frenzy, but, we'll see. Let's see. I was trying to get any type of updates. I guess it's expected to pass as the last thing. Let's see here. Oh no, wait, hold on. But you won't get it right away. Yeah, I'm looking right now. It's like it says the timeline for eligible people to receive second stimulus checks. Is it? I don't know. Is it? It is official. I don't think that it is. I didn't think that it was official, but I love it. You're not getting it right away. Hey, it's passed. Everybody be happy. Yeah, the decision is. Yeah. So they're talking about a decision reached by the 7th. And again, the last day before the scheduled month-long recess. So how about so obviously something is going to get done today. Obviously Pelosi is trying to delay the recesses, because again, she has to. Could you imagine if they go on a month-long recess and they don't pass any stimulus? It will basically be a clean sweep. They will get rid of everybody. Everybody that's going up for election will be kicked out if that doesn't get done. So yeah, it'll definitely be done. Nancy's thinking, we're going to delay our respective recesses. It's like, okay, you can try, but you won't. So we'll see. So we will get some news. I don't know. Again, we got 4 days. They will probably wait until the absolute last moment on that one. They are not going to go in any sooner than that. It's just not how they roll. They're not getting it done today and be like, yeah, we're leaving for break early. They're going to literally hold it till the last minute and pander back and forth. And again, I think the stimulus, I don't know, right now it kind of looks like junk either way. I don't think either of the proposals are really great. It looks like they're not super serious about it. We'll see. All right. It already passed the House. Yeah, it's stuck in the Senate. Yeah. Well, yeah, until it passes both sides, it's not passed, yeah. Because like I said, it's kind of like, we're going to pass it, but we're not going to pass it. Yeah. And because it's like two different ruling bodies. Yeah. Like I said, think about it. If you ran the House, right, you're going to throw the bill that benefits you the most, knowing that the other side is going to kick it back, because they could basically be like, hey, listen, we tried to get something done. Doesn't matter if it was garbage, but we got something done. It's the other side that wanted to halt it, right? So if you're the first pass person, you can always throw as much junk in there as you want. Yeah. it's kind of like, all right, how much junk do we want to filter out? So, it's like a negotiation, right? It's like a negotiation. And if Nancy's involved, it's a used car salesman. Stuck on the 600. It's, it's interesting. My take on it, and again, I'm not going to get super political in the channel, but my take is with elections this year, everybody wants to put their best foot forward. I can already tell you, I can already see, like, I have kind of a forecast of what's going to happen. I can tell you the front runners of where I believe people are going to be. And I'm going to throw it down right now. I feel that the media has been very much one-sided at this point, especially based off some of the news that we've seen lately. I don't think either candidate is great. I do believe with everything going on, I do believe that there will be a switch this year. And I can tell you who I think the front-running candidate will be for the next election after that. If we do have a switch, I see us going into an extremely deep recession. I think it's going to be bad. And all we will hear is it's Trump's fault for the next, 3 years. It's going to be like, what we dealt with last time where, things were Bush's fault for 8 years. That would be my prediction right now is what we're going to see. Okay. Everything will be the other guy's fault, even though we've, made grounds against China and, a lot of other things. And yep, that's what I'm going to say right now. That's what we're dealing with. When there's a switch, though, I can guarantee there'll be no riots. There'll be no riots this time. All right. So let's go over into charts. Oops. There's my scanner. Oh, yeah. I wanted to cover the scanner. I'm going to leave the scanner up on this one. I don't know. Can I make it bigger? No, probably not. All right. Scanner wise, again, guys, I meant this. This is up here for one reason. Not that we use the scanner a lot on Monday mornings. The reason why we have it up here is because we're seeing a lot of switches from what we had last week. A lot of flips, right? First thing we can see is obviously in the major basket, you can see that this is showing us that dollar strength, right? All the dollar first pairs, bam, are in the blue. All the dollar second pairs are in the red. Boom. So again, dollar strength. But going across the board to look to see what else is controlling the markets right now. Is Euro controlling markets? Not really. We're kind of split right down the middle, right? 50-50. CAD. Well, CAD's got some power here. And a lot of these are down. So again, the CAD has a little bit of strength as well coming into it, right? And it's doing okay, but it's, the CAD yen is kind of in a, it's a upward bias, right? We're in an uptrend, but not confirmed or anything. So again, we are seeing some CAD strength. It's not quite as strong as the dollar strength, but again, we are seeing it. Aussie, we are seeing weakness across the board except versus the yen. And again, that is a U.S. market story. So this is kind of a big flip from what we've seen in the last week, 2 weeks, right? And again, remember, this is the last 4 hours, but we're seeing kind of a reversal, confirmations now to the downside. And again, high on the curve, okay? Also, in opposite of what we saw last week, we are seeing pound weakness. Okay, now it is kind of splitting out, so I wouldn't say that it's extreme weakness. And again, versus the Aussie, Swiss, and yen, it's up. Versus New Zealand CAD and dollar, it is down. So last week it was the right side of this equation that was driving the markets. Right now, it's the left side that is driving the market. Okay, and I don't see that. I don't know if this left side and kind of the middle is going to continue to prop things up. So it's always interesting when that works. Last week it was like major movement here, major movement here, major movement here because this guy was weak. Now this guy is strong and everybody else is kind of flat. To me, I'm wondering, is this going to be that, again, we have impulse correction. Is this dollar strength the corrective move in an overall bigger level of weakness? That's kind of why I wanted to leave scanner up and follow it. All right, so there's the 30-minute. It's funny, when you look at it this way on the 30-minute, you're like, wow, look at this thing. It's just collapsing. Right? But then when you look at it like one of these things, you're like, well, maybe not collapsing, right? We're very, very high. There were some entries last week. We had this one little position here that we were talking about getting short in, and it kind of retraced through. It ended up moving quite choppy through that zone and ended up using it as a level, sure. There was actually a small minor zone. Because this kind of chopped back and forth in large candles, the way that you would have wanted to take this is off of that level, right? Knowing that, hey, listen, I want to get short. It's already spiked down again. If it comes back up again, we know that we have a tested level here, right? It dropped, went sideways, and then boom, collapsed and didn't make it. That green level right here, actually, let me change it. I don't want you guys to think that this is a long area. Right there. That's where you would have had to grab the entry off this one to the downside. And again, we ended up Friday down here. We ended up retracing back up to the zone and collapsed a little bit farther. Again, this was one of those ones that, we had a short play in. kind of hard to grab this one, right? We expected the way that this based here. I didn't like this for a Sunday night gap. I actually won. I liked it higher. I thought higher was the way to do it, but it did spend a lot of time in the higher area where it, its last pullback was really the entry. You can see it right here. Was it the best defined zone? Not really, but there was where the entry was. I was hoping for a better kind of peak here, but didn't necessarily get it. But there was the short from this weekend, going into Sunday. I kind of like where it is now. I mean, it's pushing down to a lower level. As you can see, we have a 30-minute level here as well as an hourly level. You can see it. This is one that we had marked off before, right? We had marked this level. I think this coincides perfectly with what we're seeing, this 70.94. Now, I would like to see a confirmation long out of this one, not just kind of a first kind of touch entry long. I do like how it's basing. It's having some issues. I think if it pushes a little bit farther down, again, if that can coincide with a 10 o'clock reversal, I think that would be a good spot for this one. Now, if it does hold sideways, again, I'd be looking for a bounce and then kind of a retest off of that area. I may even take it where it bounces down and then forms a new level and then take that level for a bounce higher. I just don't. There's nothing that I've read this weekend or looked at this weekend that leads me to believe that we do have true dollar strength coming back into the market. I think the disappointment about, again, stimulus not being what it is, I'll tell you right now, the Senate's not going to pass something that is going to be too kind of one-sided. Once it gets passed and we see like the full figure of what it is, I do believe that, again, gold will go back up again. I do believe that the Aussie will rise again. The question is just how long do we have to wait for that, and where will it be on the curve? Will we continue to push lower? Now, the zone formation here was originally off of a gap as well. I do like that it has ascending wick bottoms to it. Again, a nice kind of rally base and then pop off of it. A wick here and then a higher wick. So I do like this zone. I think it is a great zone. But again, last week, I think everybody was preparing for stimulus. It's like, yes, stimulus, gold's going to go higher. And then like, wait, are we not going to get it? Are we not? Wait, it's not going to pass? Wait, we're not going to have it? And then that's really kind of what sucked the life out of this one. It was because nothing got done, right? And it's still not official. And, we're hearing things about, it's going to take a long time for you to get your money. It's like, okay, here we go. This is it's the same stories that we heard originally, right? If you guys remember when the first stimulus checks came out, what do we hear? Oh, but some people aren't going to get it till October. It's like, wait, what? And that ended up not being true, but that's what the media was telling us, that, if you didn't file electronically, it could take up till October, November timeframe for you to actually get your stimulus checks, because we're going to have to do this and that, and there's going to be a backlog and people aren't going to be working. I mean, it wasn't the case, but again, that's what the news was reporting, that it could take that long. So stimulus, I think we will pop. Again, look at this 70.93 is a potential area. Now, let's bring this over here. All right, so this one was a little frustrating for me. I also had a short on this one, looking for it to go lower in the overnight. It ended up going higher and grabbing orders higher than what I thought. Now, I was looking for orders kind of up in this area. It's not an ideal kind of end, and I also liked, this area right here. Now, it went just above that area before collapsing. It's one of those situations where, I debated, like, listen, I can throw something Nadex-wise that will protect me for any type of retracement back up again, and I'm looking for it to go down and drop much, much lower. It did. It bounced, and again, this Aussie dollar bounce here is kind of what I was looking for and what we're talking about over here in this situation. As you can see, this one hasn't had the bounce. And again, the reason this is bouncing is because of the yen. So, kind of the same idea. I mean, this one is also, it's in an interesting situation because, yes, while it is still kind of high here on the daily, on the 4 hour, you can see it's not quite up at the peak, right? On an hourly, it's kind of smacked over here in the middle. So there's a lot more stuff going on. We'll take this one off just to keep this clean. That's fine. We'll remove that. Oops, no. I'm going to keep that one on. I'm not sure what that is. Let's take that off. Let's bring this over just to get it updated for this week. We'll put it there. So as you can see, this one is definitely a bit more kind of sideways movement, even going into last week. I mean, here's the 24th, right? I mean, we're talking about, a week ago, and we more or less just had sideways movement. So I think the way to play this one, again, we are in kind of the sideways channel. Just like the Aussie dollar, if we push back down, I do think we have an intraday kind of long here at 74.97. And again, maybe a confirmation off that one. I don't think it's a horrible zone. And again, 4 hour wise, it coincides with a 4 hour zone also. Now, this one is not as much trendy. Like I said, more sideways movement. This bottom is held pretty well. And like I said, it's an hourly as well as a 4 hour demand zone. So again, yeah, if we can push down, get some push down, again, there could be a long entry right here at 74.9. Basically, it's 75, right? Right at 75. Now, euro yen. Okay. I can't believe euro yen spiked this much as well. Again, this is kind of a really non-movement, right? What did it do? It spiked down, it spiked up, and then came all the way back down again. I'm actually surprised that this one did rally as much as it did. It had a nice kind of basing level here at the close. It had another level right above it, and then a nice little drop. Typically, when you see that, it doesn't need an upper level, but it did, and ended up going back down to where the target was anyway. So this is definitely one of those frustrating trades because it would have taken a stop and spot currency, but went well past our profit target. So it's like, you went where we thought it was going to go, but look at this chop back and forth, right? Down, no movement, up, no movement, just to clear everything before kind of rolling over where we thought. So this was literally just all right, we need to clear everything out of the way here for this trade. All right. So yeah, those are they happen again, and that's Sunday. That's the gamble of Sunday in a low volume market. You're going to get these whipsaws back and forth, but it's where it should be right now. So, looking at it on an hourly basis, you can see that again we have a decent level of basing right here. We've touched it already. We're up right now in an area where you are seeing some kind of pushback. I actually wouldn't be surprised over the next hour and a half if we do push lower from this area. Again, as U.S. traders come online, they're going to start reacting. And again, this is an overnight kind of push and retrace. So, I would say we are in kind of a bearish trend right now. Our highs are getting lower. Our lows, for the most part, are getting lower. Again, it's got to be able to break this for the next consecutive low. But I think today that this one, to me, at least in the short term, looks like it wants to continue to push lower. Now, I will say I do like this top zone. I do think the way that this reacted, again, this spike up and down again, that same kind of weird euro spike up and down. I do think this level, because again, very, very clean, very fast ascent up. This was a parabolic retracement move back to the downside. Okay, so again, it was something that we were looking to overtake. The fact that we got this little kind of quick news spike, grabbed it, and then collapsed, I think you definitely have to keep this on your radar for a short. Now, I don't know if it's going to hit today. It depends if it can move that much, but 125.03-ish area. Again, nice little zone. We're only talking about 16, 17 pip risk. I think is something absolutely you have to keep for a short there. Again, it spent no time, came up and got hammered back down again. Love the setup. Again, parabolic retracement move. Got to keep that on your focus. All right. Pound yen. So pound yen had kind of something similar. Again, this is another parabolic move. We talked about it kind of shorting back down again. The same thing. This one went a bit higher as well. Again, it did actually not get. I'm pretty sure it didn't. Let me move this off. Oh, actually, it did. I didn't get triggered on this one. I also had I had one down here, although I didn't like it. I liked how clean the top was. I actually did not get entered into this one. It's interesting that on this platform, it actually did trigger to the short downside. But kind of the same setup that we talked about on the last one, right? This was such a, great area. It was in larger time frame. We talked about it. It was being here. It's in a 4-hour zone. We refined that down a little bit, and that's where the red line came in from. And again, we had that drawn from last week. But there's the level on the 30-minute, and this one triggered and kicked in. Last night about 10, right? And literally bounced off that 30-minute. And again, it is a 30-minute level, and this is what I'm talking about, guys, on those confirmations. It hit a larger time frame zone, formed a new level, tested that level, came back down. We opened up, we came back up, and again, spent absolutely no time here before pushing it down to finish out the retrace to the downside. Now, 137.50 is kind of where I think we should get back down to. We do have a Harry Potter trade set up to the low side, looking for a bit of a retracement lower. And again, there's some areas down there. We'll see. I don't know if we're going to hit it today. I think it's more than likely. I think we have a better chance of getting up to 139 and taking this back down than we do getting entered in this short when we break through 137.23. Big question is, are we going to get some more movement? Right now, from where we were yesterday, it's 1 pip off. Like you guys can see here, look at the scanner. It's just absolutely flat right now. So is it flat? No, it's just retracing and coming back up again. It's really what it's doing. Again, down and right back up. This is where we open on Sunday night. So we'll see. But I like 139.09. I actually have right in, I don't know the exact number on it, but it's down in this area is where I have an alert. If you guys are familiar with how to set alerts and you know how to, I would set this one about 15 pips before we get to that zone. Approximately, like I said, check it on yours, but approximately 138.85 is where I have an alert to let me know, hey, listen, we're getting close to that top zone. Let's go back. Let's see what the basing levels look like. Let's see if we are, let's see if we're it's conducive to an actual setup itself. I'm going to trade this one to here. Okay. So again, I have alert set right there. Pound dollar. So pound dollar. Pound dollar also took a flip out of that area. So we have a zone up here that we're looking for shorts on the upper time frame. Now, we mentioned it last week. Again, we had this kind of Harry Potter continuation through the top. I'm going to leave it on for tomorrow just to help show the Nadex crew. But we were looking for one kind of entry here. It ended up pulling back from it. It never even made it up to the higher one. I still like this upper one, so it's an area that I want to make sure that we keep on. But currently, right now, we're in the same type of a short pattern. I do believe we'll push back down to these pink zones here. Not too much we can really do with it. I don't know that I would take it for another long. As I said, this was an area of interest. It served as a top for a while, then all of a sudden became the bottom. And again, it drove pretty deep here, drove even deeper here. So for the next one, I'm a little bit more leery of taking this one long. If anything, I'm looking at it probably more. Oh, why is it pink? Why is it pink? Oh, I know why. I'm probably looking for more something like this. The 1 to 3 target is a bit long, so I'm probably going to see how we enter that area, look for kind of a new level of supply to form, and then take a retrace into it. So similar to a Harry Potter, but I need to reduce the risk. The risk on this one is too big. It's about 33 pips, and I'm not interested in that. And again, the profit target is on the other side of this zone, which I don't really want to mess with. I think this zone here being tested is definitely something we want to make sure that we are out of before we get to that level. And that is kind of over here at the 128.64. So, right now, again, I do think we will come down. If it goes through this, again, I'm looking forward to forming a new level of supply, drop down, come back up and retest. So the same pattern, but I need to have a smaller zone to be able to take it out. I'm not taking that much risk for this continuation. All right. Now, as we mentioned with everything else, we could get a reversal around 10 o'clock today. That would make sense too. I mean, if it does come down and it does, support one more time, that would kind of be the third hit for it. So it could definitely take a bounce higher. But I think at this point, this is for me is more of a pound trade versus a dollar weakness trade. I just think that the pound being up over the last kind of 2 weeks, I think it's due for some negativity, some negative news. And even though the dollar could be weak, I feel that the pound has the potential to become weaker, if that makes sense. We're not in the best place that we could be. Not that the U.S. would be, but it's kind of like the worst of the ugly, if that makes sense. So I do think later on this week we could have something lower. Okay, but definite shorts for me are 132.47. Okay, that one is kind of a there's an alert there. Again, if we go through this, great, looking to get short from the top. Yeah, I'm shorting pound dollar since zone. Yeah. If it breaks through this, I'm looking to go. Again, great short from here last week. We marked it off. Again, we wanted higher. If we got that pop, we never ended up getting the pop. From that. Again, we were waiting for a stimulus pop up because I was like, listen, this zone is not going to hold with stimulus. The stimulus never came, and that's what rolled it over early. Right. This was a stimulus trade setup, and it never came. So again, it'll still be valid when we get up there. It's just we got to hold it for a little bit longer. Euro pound again, just sideways. We had some drop on this one, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. We had this big push down, last week. And then since that time is really flat, I don't really love too much with the euro pound right now. I just don't feel that any of the zones are really great zones. We got a bit more to go down. I think this zone down here, and again, I just jumped up to a 4-hour for those of you that saw it, but 89.50, again, it does end in a 5-0. I think that's a level that we need to be cognizant of. We need to kind of watch out for. I think that could be a great level that we pull back down into. It's just not moving there right now, right? It's just kind of slow. There is news later this week. So we have, where is it? On Thursday, we have, again, it's a big day for the pound. We have, let's see, their monetary policy report, their banknote summary, their BOE monetary, so they have two. They have their official bank rate, which is not going to go down, as well as Bailey speaking. So Thursday morning is a big one. I'm hoping that we get some more movement, but I'd really like this one to establish some kind of better zones before that. Now, I'm going to keep track of this one. There are small levels in here, and I say small, but again, this is a 4-hour chart. I do like how this area here has been a force of driving it down, and then driving it down again. So that may be a level that I'm looking for later in the week. Right now, we're sitting about 80 pips away from it. The daily ATR is only 62, so it's not really something we need to watch out for right now. But like I said, it's just kind of, this one's on like summer vacation, for lack of a better word, right? It's just not looking great. Yeah, right. So yeah, I want more than that one. Yeah, but Thursday, Ray, if you're still short, again, be careful with Thursday. Thursday will it has that potential for some big movement. All right, so here's the euro. Okay, euro was very, very high. We talked about our hiccup levels. You can see that our hiccup level was respected here, came back down again, and we've had a really hard time getting back into retraces. Now, we've had some pops around. We had one here, and again, missed entry. We had another one here, and it did hit and actually bounced higher, but it hasn't been the cleanest. We've marked off these two levels lower of kind of areas that we're more interested in, right here, but we got them more interested in for a short. Now, I was hoping for a bit more grind. Most likely, again, what I kind of see happening is, it coincides with what we talked about with the Aussie dollar, the pound dollar. I can kind of see this one coming down. And again, once the U.S. traders come online in an hour, really kind of force this thing down into this zone, thinking that, hey, listen, all the news is talking about the dollar is great, right? So you're going to have that initial reaction of, hey, dollar strong, dollar strong, dollar strong. That could be enough to drive us into this 117.05 level. And then again, at 10 o'clock, when people are like, well, wait, why is the dollar strong? Is it really strong? To, have that kind of go against this. Is this out? Excuse me. 24 pips as a zone. A little bit big. I'd like to get a little bit cleaner reversal out of it. I'm actually kind of hoping that this kind of comes down in here at the 116.96 level. That would take a lot more of the risk out of it and give us what I would like is a better entry long. I do think short wise, if we do break through, for some reason, if the story of the day is going to be gold strength and we're going to stick with that all day, I do think that there is a potential for a Harry Potter here. Again, a burst through the bottom, a pullback, and a retest. There will be a little bit of a hiccup right here, but I think after that, I think we are totally clean down to 116. So, if the word of the day is dollar, king dollar, it's two words, but we can make it one for the sake of this. I do think there could be a nice push down. And again, instead of using the entire white zone, even though that has been what's been respected on the top side, you could shrink this down and take just the green box, right? Just the green box and have it along the lines of here, right? Breaking below 116.81. Again, your risk on the top of that one is around 116.96. So again, about 15 pips risk, not very much. Push into the downside. Now the 1 to 3 is still just below that area. So again, be cautious with that. But your 1 to 3, 1 to 5, I think are both in fine locations. It's well before the 116. And again, you're talking about, about a 40 pip run on target 1 and about 60, 70 pips for target number 2. So I think both of those are possible if king dollar will be the word of the day. And again, remember that is a punch through, a pullback, a retest, and then a drop lower. Now, dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, again, I'm going to pull this one back up here. I wouldn't say that this one has had tons of movement. We're still kind of stuck in the same channel. You can see on the 4 hour, here's the 4 hour, and that's kind of what it looks like. We've really been kind of just down, up, back to the same level, kind of slowly grinding backwards. So I wouldn't quite say that this one is in a great location as far as on the curve. Now, we do have a pop. Again, it was trying to retrace back down again. I was okay with that, but as far as getting new entries, this is not a great level, and really, there's really not much clean until we get way back up here. I just don't know if there's anything that's going to have the ability to drive it. Now, on the hourly, there's a hiccup point here, and again, not a bad level, right? I mean, it popped. They had one candle base and then hammered down, and we haven't touched that one. So, again, this is that same thing. We've had dollar strength in the overnight. Will it have the ability to come up? It could, right? There's a potential trade set up right there, and if it's nothing but green candles, yeah, that would be an okay trade. Small intraday trade on a Monday with no additional news. It's possible. Like I said, ISM is at 10 o'clock. So could this rally up all ahead of time? Sure. And could that be the turnaround point? Sure. Could ISM be absolutely amazing and strong for the dollar? Sure. And would this level hold? It's really going to depend on how close we are. Is it the highest quality level for news? No, it's sitting right here in the middle. It's kind of going off this. There's a wick over wick. Whoops. There's a wick over here, and that's kind of the top side of it. So, is it the best? No. So it may provide some opportunity. Again, we got to see if we get a little bit closer. We got it about an hour and a half before news. This may even just peter out over here. This may be a parabolic situation where it spikes up, grabs one, and turns. But as you can see, that wick over wick is actually implanted between those two zones. So none of them are as clean as they could be. right? So what I would say is this one right here is kind of the aggressive entry that we have marked. The yellow is the wick over wick that again was retested with this spike up, but then there's another one above, and I actually don't like the third one as much. I think if this one you go conservative with yellow, aggressive with red. All right, and again, could be a new setup. Now, dollar yen. So dollar yen was doing like nothing yesterday, and we got some push down. We were actually looking for entries down here at 103.34, and I was hoping we could push down there before Monday. I was hoping with all the negativity we would get a balance, and we did. It just didn't hit when we wanted it to hit. It didn't quite go that low, and again, turned off. Now, for this one, I would have to say I don't have a great entry. I mean, there's nothing in here that's like, ooh, that's a great level, because there was the candles of these are just horrible, right? You can see that we had one little kind of piece here, and it was kind of a telltale sign. Would I have taken it? Not really. I mean, it's very small, and even on the 30-minute, there's not really great levels on this one anywhere, right? I mean, even pulling this back, was there a huge movement? I mean, there was okay movement here, right? There was okay movement. Is any of this earth-shattering? Not really. Not really. So, I mean, like I said, I'm looking for a clean entry. I mean, this one has been pushed to the brink, so I don't know that I can use that one. And 4-hour-wise, I'll make this bigger so you can kind of actually see it more now. There's nothing really clean until we get all the way back up, right? All the way up to this range, the 107.16. I mean, that's the last time that we've really had strong, powerful movement off the 4-hour. And we got some room to run. I mean, we got about 94 pips before we get up there. The daily AT on this one is 77, so it's at least a day away. I mean, for me, I'm not really interested in taking much in here, right? At this point, I want this to rally up. I want it to grab it. I want to come back up to this level. Again, we've had such a drive down. We missed our entries long. Come back up. So then it puts us in a better situation. A higher probability short is really what I'm looking for in this one. And even on the 30-minute, I mean, I don't really, this top level has been pushed literally to the brink. There's only maybe 3 pips left in it. Probably not worth taking again. And again, was this a valid flip? Yeah, it flipped right here. It pulled back and kind of bounced higher, the ascending wick. So, not in love with the dollar yen today. Like I said, Mondays I typically don't follow this one too much. So, we'll see. I mean, all these levels up top are junk. All right, so had a little bit of an entry off this one. As you guys can see, it was valid for 1, valid for 2, and since that time it is now broken. Now, this is one of those trades. I left this on here. It gave us 2 valid entries in, and number 3 is where it actually broke. Now, it gave us the continuation, right? But it ended up coming through the backside of the zone. So last week, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I don't know if it was Marina or Debbie's, I talked about different forms of entry, right? So this is a situation where, again, I've mentioned this in the past. I'll bring it up again. If you guys are new in the channel, it'll be valid for you guys. So in these Harry Potter trades, there's 3 ways to take it. Okay. 1, you can take it on the initial pullback in. Okay. That's kind of like your number 1 entry. Number 2 is when we kind of form a level inside and it retests that one. And again, in this case, that would have happened kind of in this area right here. Right. Again, it didn't really kind of retrace back again. Number 3 is when it pulls into that level, you take it right here when it leaves the level. Okay. In this case, it would have been the number 3, which would have been really number 2 or number 3. The first one, the aggressive one, is the one that would have ended up costing you this time. So we did have the continuation pattern. It did punch through, it did pull back, and it did go higher. It gave us the white space. It just ended up kind of pulling a little bit lower to grab some more order. So again, entry type matters, and what your risk tolerance is matters. Sometimes if you're waiting for, if you're waiting for this base to form, it will just touch and go, and you're going to miss trades. Okay. If you're waiting for any type of pause, you're not going to get number 3s. All right. So if you're aggressive, you take these, you'll get stopped out more, but you'll get more trades. If you're waiting for this, you will not get as many trades, but you will not get stopped out as much. If you're waiting for the level in here, same thing. You will get stopped out less than this guy, but more than this guy. And vice versa. You will not get as many trades as this guy, but you will get more trades than this guy. Okay? And that's the correct way to play these. Now, where we are currently right now, I'm going to take this off because we don't need this anymore. This was a last night, but I just wanted to kind of review that with you guys. We are getting up to a level, again, up on the 30-minute. We do have a little bit more room to run, only about 6 pips, so it's definitely something that we can run into. It's kind of an interesting place for news. Now, we've seen this area hit before. It has been pushed more or less to the peak. I mean, you can see there's one touch here. Debatable whether this is 2 or not because it really hasn't left, but at least 1, 2, and we're coming up to 3. So my worry about this one is, again, that we kind of hit this area, pull back a little bit, and then the news is good enough that we can punch higher, okay? For me, I'm going to move this to this kind of area here, just above. This is a level that we marked off as well as the indicator marked off for. Now, I don't think everything with US and China is done. This was more or less a play with that one. I'm looking at shorts around the 92.52 area. I think if that punches forward again, this zone is going to be kind of a may we get a bounce off of it? Maybe, but we're kind of pushing the amount through, and how much is left in there is kind of the big question. But I like this one. I think this one is much cleaner, kind of only went a little bit in, rallied back down, based, came up and retested, and there's a bit of an overlap in there. So I'm kind of looking for kind of this is kind of what I'm looking for. And again, I got to see how it comes up if it bases before the level. So there's a couple things I'm looking for, but that's what's on my radar for the dollar Swiss. That's about 44 pips movement. If we hit this one, this would be more probably of an afternoon trade, unless we have crazy movement with ISM, and then it would be a much faster kind of parabolic retracement move. It is set up again. Those of you that know the parabolic retracement, if we do spike in 1 or 2 big candles because of that manufacturing number, that's ideally set up. Again, that would be 3, 4 candles straight up into a level that we found and again has been proven. That would be the perfect opportunity for a retracement back to the downside. And again, if it's all green up, we'd be looking for profit targets down in this area. So there's a decent amount over here in this one, right? There's a decent amount. All right, NQ. So NQ right now, again, we are kind of approaching that level that we saw last time. And for those of you that didn't see it, we've hit this level a few times. Again, a huge push away. The last time we went up there, base and kind of turned sideways. It's kind of the same situation. We've now rallied back up again. We're getting close to it now. Whether we take it again is going to be an interesting question. As I mentioned last week, I thought we had the potential to get back to all-time highs, but I also thought that stimulus was coming back in again. And it's kind of one of those ones. I mean, this is the ideal parabolic retracement, right? Absolute gigantic push up, formed a base, came up and retested it, went all the way back down to its profit target. In doing that, it created another parabolic move, which happened to run right into a level, the exact opposite again. This one was triggered over here from this, a parabolic move into a level retrace. Slammed down again, another parabolic move into a level and rallied it all back up again. So it is kind of set for a tipping point when it runs into sellers. Question is, again, I don't think stimulus is coming today. Manufacturing could absolutely, again, if that manufacturing number is not good, that could actually be a tipping point and kind of flip us. Now, I'd like for this to go a bit higher. I'd like for us to be in that zone. But right now it is kind of setting up, coming approximately into this 11,033. If this comes up and the manufacturing is bad, if it's a bad number for the overall markets, it's kind of setting up for obviously a 10 o'clock news reversal trade, right? Again, positive morning. Everybody's like, yeah, we're going long, go long. And then, crappy news, right back down again. That's probably all. And like I said, this is not the newest of levels. Again, we've hit this level a few times. Nice push. I mean, it's spent some time up here. So the big question is where are the orders going to step in? Most likely on the upper end of this side. So it may be a little bit scary, but the way that I would play this, especially if we can get up here, would definitely be Nadex. Limit your risk on this one. Be cautious in the futures market. But limit your risk on this, whether with knockouts. And again, I haven't looked at where they're at. But knockouts are out of the money binaries. Knockout will give us a little bit of a time value. But I do think by the end of the week, when we do, again, they're going on vacation, I do think we will have stimulus by the end of the week. And I'd be highly surprised if that stimulus does not give us a bump and pushes us back to an all-time high. I mentioned it last week, and again, I'm going to stand firm with that one. I think the no stimulus issue is what drove us down. I think we will get up there this week. I think it will be new highs. Okay, but again, intraday short potential right here with a intraday setup. S&P. So S&P is up in a level right now. Now this is one of those zones. Also a 4-hour. Actually, was this a 4-hour daily? Not quite up to the daily. So this one didn't move as far. And this isn't a level. We had a trade set up from last week. We were waiting for kind of a stimulus bounce. We didn't get the stimulus bounce last week. It kind of pulled away. So this one is also kind of in that interesting spot, right? Let me take some of these off now. I'll move this over the side. We'll take this off. This is a level. And again, let me I'll hold the top side. Okay. So this is a level that we're at right now. I would say that this one is not as good as a setup. The reason why is because it's already kind of moved pre-market into that zone. And again, remember, this was originally set up last week for a stimulus deal on Friday that would pop us up. And then it was kind of a retrace for early this week. We didn't get it. It dropped. Obviously, it came back. Same setup, right? We popped up into a zone of basing. We retraced the parabolic move. It immediately retraced the parabolic move back up again, and then just kind of flatline on us, right? So we've gotten a pop. I'm also looking for this one to kind of roll over. But I'd be more cautious with this than I would be NQ. I think the manufacturing will affect this one a bit more, but it's already at the zone. I do feel like when U.S. traders come online, they are going to help stimulate this a little bit higher. So, as you can see, the white box was well above the zone. This was kind of a refined zone in there. So we're not out of it yet. We're about halfway through the zone. Don't know if it's going to hold or not. All right. But again, probably bearish this one today as well. I think we will be positive. Again, if the manufacturing number comes in good, absolutely this will break through. I mean, this is a very small zone. And as you can see, let me take this off. Shrinking, we have big levels above, and those levels are sitting up here. So we definitely have room to run before we're like in the ideal territory for mega shorts on this one. This is all smaller time frame, kind of waiting for pops and stuff last week, back and forth again. Maybe it will be positive. I mean, it was good last time. It's supposed to be 53.6. All the manufacturing numbers have been great thus far. So again, it definitely has the potential to punch higher. So again, I'd be using limited risk entries in this one. Again, looking for a reversal in the overnight. It's just a lot of movement pre-market for this one to not move. All right, to not reverse at some point. Now the Dow is also in a level, kind of what we talked about last week. Now, remember last week we were looking for that short when we got up to, I just moved it, but it was 120. What was it? 26.5, like 25 or something like that, or 533ish, I think is what it was. We ended up missing it just barely. I mean, again, we got the parabolic move down. We came back up again. We never got the entry south. We never broke through the bottom. That same zone. So again, zone was tested, zone was hit, zone was front run over the weekend, zone hit again. Kind of the same scenario. It's already at the zone before the market opened. I think this 26,667 is probably still a valid zone. It's one we were looking for a spike last week. Again, if we can go up and get there before the manufacturing number, it could also give us an opportunity to take a short. Now, this is a hourly zone. It's been hit a few times. I would not rate this as like an A+ zone. This one could also pop all the way back up again as well. Now, I don't know that we'll make that today, but this one, again, this zone right here, it's pretty much done. I would be extremely surprised if we turn around now and this one held. I'm expecting it to fail. I think that the 26,667, if we can get there before the manufacturing news, again, if it places us there before news, could give us a nice little short if we disappoint on that the manufacturing number. It's expected to be good, so if it is good, question is, will that give us enough driving force to come back up to 27,105? And it may. 27,105 is still a better zone for what I'm looking for entry-wise. All right? Now let's go to cost of gold. So, gold. Gold is all the way back up again. And again, here's on an hourly. We know we've talked about, where gold is. Now, what did we say last week about gold? Obviously, stimulus, we're sitting right here at 1968. So we are in the upper range, right? We have gone slightly above where we were before, this 1981. It was a gap above, but what are we seeing right now, right? We've seen dollar strength back into the market. And why do we have this big rally? What did we see? Dollar weakness, right? So kind of right now, we've seen dollar weakness. And again, gold has been able to hold, but yet we've seen more dollar strength. You typically don't see gold strength and dollar strength. It just doesn't happen. This has pulled back slightly, but I wouldn't say it's retracing real far. So I would say right now, again, gold is probably still in a disappointment that a stimulus has not happened. But when that stimulus comes in, gold is going to pop. So question is, where do we grab some longs off of this one? We may have a retrace back down today. Again, if we continue with that gold strength, it will kind of go lower. There's a few areas in here that are all right. I still think, and again, unfortunately, when I updated the indicator on this one kind of got messed up. But, I do think there's still a level sitting down here. around 1906. I don't know if we're going to drop that far with just dollar strength news today. So that's one level. There's another small level kind of sitting in here that's also been tested. You can see that as price came back down, it tested it here. So that could be a potential another level that, again, if we can get price down here into this, 1939 level, that could be another level that could provide us with a nice positive bounce area higher. But like I said, it's going to come back and grab some. It's technically in an area right now with buyers, right? It's got buyers here for a bounce and is holding. So again, this could also give us that, manufacturing bad number, dollar switch, again, dollar strength draining from us. This could also be an area where we take and punch higher, okay? So right now, I don't really have many short targets for this one. Again, I am kind of bearish focused up here. The way that this one popped on a Sunday with the way that it opened, I'm not really interested in taking that one for any type of, a short there. Indicators marking it off, but I want to see something cleaner. I want to see something, something like this, something that's a bit easier to see in gold. Now, silver, again, gold all the way up here. Silver, and not so much. Right? So we had this area of interest that we mentioned, and again, we're sitting right above it. I mean, you guys can see that, if I continue this one across, right? It's right there. You can see, again, base, popped, boom, 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 boom. This kind of back and forth, rode the top, came back down, went over, just rode through the middle again, and then boom, and then boom, and now we're kind of riding the top again. So it's been very into this level. We're not at all-time highs, obviously, for silver. I still think this 25.98 is an area where, again, we got to be looking for some shorts. I think 21.55 is also a good level. Because we've had so much basing back and forth, I mean, yeah, there's a level down here, and again, we've tested that level. I wouldn't say that, it's this zone right here. I don't know if I would use that level again. I'm actually very surprised that it did hold after it got punched through. But again, for an intraday position, we're going to have to talk about it. It definitely respected here and formed a kind of a nice little test out of it. So, right now, I would say silver has no idea what it wants to do. Gold, I think, is holding firm. It is poised for a much higher punch forward. It's going to accumulate some supply there. Silver, I don't feel it's as strong, and I feel like silver got too much media hype and attention. That everybody's like, oh, silver. And I feel like this one is going to roll and flip. So, of these two, if you want to trade some metals, I think gold is a better play today. Look for any type of news or any type of, signs that the dollar is weakening. Pull up the Dixie and kind of check that one out. Go ahead. Let me pull oil real quick. Let's see. Trading view. Crude oil. Full featured charts. And let's pull this bad boy across. So, here's what we had from last week. All right. So we talked about this level here and saying, hey, listen, we pop through, we pop and based in it, look for that area for shorts. And you can see, here's one, came down. Here's one, here, came down. Here's one, came down. Here's one that came down again. So again, continuing across, 40-40 seems to be a level where sellers are stepping in on oil. It may be worth it for something today. I mean, if the manufacturing data is bad, if we can get a pop for the first 30 minutes into that level, again, could be another opportunity to take oil short. Now, the thing about oil in this one is, again, we've hit this level multiple times. I am wondering, is this going to be the new level from here? As you guys remember, this 41.05 to 41 kind of like 25-ish area, this thing was an absolute monster, right? With touches in, touches out the top, and then just sucking price in on both sides. I mean, it was just an absolute monster. Will this be the new version? Again, we had a piece here. It was tested, based, tested. So could this be the new magnet for this week? I would say overall, still somewhat bearish. Oil, again, with a lot of what we're hearing about shutting things down. I think at this point, all school systems have told us if they're going virtual or if they're showing up. My only concern about this one, again, is going to be how people kind of deal with that. And the reason it goes back to oil is if people are being forced to work from home, I think it is going to keep demand for oil lower. And again, yeah, we got some dollar strength right now, but with dollar weakness, we will also continue to see oil fade. We did have a huge number last week. Again, oil was missed by 10 million barrels. We didn't see any type of large spike, and that's kind of I guess the market doesn't believe the forecast. So, yeah, in regard to the school situation, guys, at least for oil, if school systems have said they are going to go back and they're going to be in a hybrid model, I don't see many school systems changing we're going virtual and then suddenly say, hey, you know what? Never mind. We're sending the kids back to school. But I could see school districts that say, yeah, we're going to go hybrid or we're going to send kids back. I could see them reversing and saying, you know what? We're just going to go full virtual because numbers have increased or something along those lines, you know? So I would say for this week, I am probably also bearish. Not that last week was a huge bearish play, but again, we were bearish last week, and again, it obviously came lower. Hopefully Wednesday. I don't even know. Do they have? I doubt they have it up tomorrow, Wednesday. No, and here's that number for those of you that didn't follow oil last week. I mean, here's the number last week. It missed. I mean, it was huge. Look at this. They were like, "Yep, we're gonna have a little bit extra," and they were way off, huge off. But look at this. This is almost an 11 million barrel miss, right? Where's the enormous spike, right? Where is the, it was back in here. It was, on the, let's see, it was last Wednesday. It was, what date? It was the 29th. Yeah, it's the 29th, which is right here. Where is the huge spike? You guys see it? There was none. There was none. So 11 million barrel miss, and there was nothing. And then what did it do? You're like, oh my God, we're down. We're short 11 million barrels, and it continued to remain bearish. So yeah, I would keep my bearish sentiment up this week as far as oil goes as well. And again, we'll do more analysis on that one tomorrow, and particularly Wednesday morning. That's when our oil trades are going to set up. But as far as today, yeah, we may get a little bit of a pop. We'll see if this level is able to hold, and again, if we're able to take another short off of this one. All right. Let's see. Let's just cancel 2020, wipe it off the count. I know. Hey, can you believe that we cheered for 2020, right? We were like, yay, 2020's here. It's like, I feel like we need like a redo, right? Like a mulligan on that one. I mean, I did see an awesome meme today. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. It's the meme that talked about nothing weird happened until we raided Area 51. I was like, that's pretty good. I like that one. That makes perfect sense, guys. We were good until Area 20, until we raided Area 51, right? Area 51 was the downfall of society. All right. So with that said, I'm going to pull across the stream elements. Let's go ahead and do the drawing. All right, guys. So with the drawing right now, again, we have 9 entrants in, 11 tickets purchased. I will give you guys about another minute and a half. So I'll close it down at 1:03. If there's anything you guys want me to look at, I can go ahead and do it. Typically Monday morning before the open, the analysis is kind of like one of those, hey, listen, we need to wait till the market actually opens. If there's anything in general you want me to look at, I can do it. But like I said, caveat to that one is Monday morning, market's not open. Obviously we have the computer, out of market hour data, but it's nothing, like I said, you typically have to wait till the markets are at least open for the week to, have everybody be able to react to what happened over the weekend. I don't see anything. Will's in. Look at this, we're up to 14. And guys, just for the new people that are on the channel, so these are for pip chips. You can use your pip chips. You accumulate them by watching the channel. We go live Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 8 to 9 a.m. On Tuesdays, it's from basically from noon to 1, and it's a broadcast sponsored by Nadex. So I will talk a little bit more about Nadex contracts, but it's different hours. So it's noon to 1 Eastern time on Tuesdays. And whenever you watch the channel, you get pip chips. Pip chips basically are the channel currency. You can use them to purchase indicators that I use on some of my charts. As well as you can do mentoring. Most people just use it for the mentoring. You'll get a one-on-one Zoom session with me. We can break down your strategy, my strategy, market psychology. We can talk about stocks, options, futures, forex. We can look at any chart that you guys want. My type of analysis works pretty much on any chart. It's more on how charts work, not on individual asset classes. So that's what you do with them. All right, there we go. 103. So the winner last week was Will. Will's got 3 in, so Will's seeing if he can go double up today. We can see our regulars in here. Debbie's like, I'm here to ruin Will's day. Ernest is like, I'm here to ruin Will's day. And Ryan, because his new schedule changed, Ryan is back in as well for 2. All right. So let's do this. Let's make it big so we can kind of see if Will's over here. The winner of today's drawing is... a brand new guy coming into the channel today. I'm telling you. There's no like benefit for being like a subscriber, not subscriber, but I do feel that the new guys in the channel are always the ones that win. Like your first day in and then you follow the channel, I always feel like those are the winners. So congratulations, new guy in. And how do I say, is that, I can't even, Samoyman? I'm probably butchering it, right? I'm probably butchering it, but welcome to the channel. Hopefully we get to see you guys on. YOLO, YOLO won his first time in too. YOLO, come on, man. You were like a winner your first day in. I don't even want to hear it. Maybe I should be I'm telling you, brand new people, man. Brand new people. So welcome to the channel. Hopefully you guys come in tomorrow. That's like getting cable for 20% off for your first year. I know, right? Oh my God, YOLO, you absolutely did. I'm going to go find it. YOLO, your first day in. Oh my God. You guys remember this? I was like, man, I love this name. How do I say this? I'm like, YOLO, what? I'm like, I love it. I was highlighting it. I'm going to go find the clip and we're going to post it in here so we can call YOLO out. I'm telling you, I never won. Yeah. You absolutely did, man. You absolutely won. Look at this. He's going to make me go back to giveaways. I'm going to find it. Can I do past giveaways? It's in here. I'm telling you. I'm going to find it. I'm going to screenshot it. I'm going to post it in the Discord channel. I wish it showed me who won these. Like, can I do this? No, I'm going to have to find it. I'm going to find it, man. I'm going to find it. I'm going to have it ready for tomorrow, for Wednesday. Wednesday morning, guys. I'm going to pull it up and show you when YOLO won. I'm not winning nothing. All right, guys. So with that said, thank you guys so much for joining today. Remember, tomorrow I will be on from noon to 1. It's a Nadex presentation, so I won't be able to answer questions. I will go on from noon to 1 and then stop the Nadex broadcast, and I will continue over here for any questions that you guys have, as well as to do the drawing. So make sure you hang around after the Nadex presentation is closed. With that being said, guys, I'm out of here. Everybody have a great trading Monday. Watch that ISM manufacturing number. It comes in about an hour, and it will probably provide some good opportunity for us later on today. You guys take care, and I'll catch you then.